Hi everyone, in this tutorial I want to show you how you can create and export an external alpha matte using Adobe After Effects. But to get started I thought it would be a good idea to just take a look at what an alpha matte is and talk a little bit about how an alpha matte works. So basically an alpha matte is used in compositing to determine which areas of an image are going to be opaque or transparent. And you use an alpha matte in combination with the footage or object that you're trying to composite into your scene. So in this example here, I have an alpha matte for some footage I shot on a green screen. And in this alpha matte, the background here, which is black, would be transparent. And the white area here would be opaque if I applied it to my original source footage. And over here you can see the original source footage. And this is the shot without an alpha matte. And you can see that the background is still here. But if I combined the alpha matte with the original footage, just by dropping these over the top here, and just to do this as a quick example, I'll just switch the blend mode to darker color, which will sort of achieve the effect we're looking for. You'll see now that the alpha matte has removed the background from my footage. Now, a lot of times the alpha information might be contained within your video file or your image file, but there are some instances where you may want your alpha matte to be a standalone file, as we have in this example here. And so that's what I'm going to show you how to create today. So now I'm going to switch over to After Effects. So now we're in After Effects, and you can see here a composition where I already have removed the background. But to show you how we would do this, I'm going to create a new composition. And I'm going to do that just by dragging this clip down to the composition icon here. And that will create a brand new composition that matches my video settings. So the first thing we need to do is just remove the background in After Effects. So to do that, I'm going to use the key light filter. I'm just going to drag and drop that on my footage. And then I'm going to select my screen color. And you'll see that that removes a good portion of the screen, but also starts taking out some of the areas that we want to keep. So the next thing I'm going to do is change the view from final result to combine matte. And that will sort of show me what I'm keeping and what I'm removing. So I can see here I want this silhouette to be completely white, and then I want this background area to be completely black. And to do that, I can go into Screen Matte, and then I can use these Clip Black and Clip White controls to adjust what that looks like. And that looks pretty good there. And now I'm going to switch back to my final result, and I can see I've done a pretty good job of removing that area, but you'll see that I'm still taking off some area in the sweater. And so to fix that, in Replace method, I'm going to switch that from soft color to source. And you'll see when I do that I get a bit more of a green edge, but I can easily remove that just by shrinking my matte. And I notice also the edge is a little bit hard, so I'm just gonna soften the screen a bit and then shrink the edge a bit more. And for this example, that's looking pretty good. So now that I've removed the green, I still have this leftover area in the edge that I need to get rid of. And that's easily dealt with just by using the pen tool and making a quick garbage matte just by clicking around the edges of the screen. When that connects, you'll see that removes my outside areas. If I zoom out, you'll see that I'm sort of not all the way to the edge, so I'm just gonna adjust this by dragging the corners. So now I've removed my background, and even though this area back here looks like it's black, it's actually transparent. And I can show you that just by adding a rectangle to the background here, and you can see that in fact the area behind is transparent, not black. It's just being visualized as black by After Effects. And so now that I know that that area is transparent, I'm ready to export my external alpha matte. So I'm just going to go to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. And then under my settings, I need to change my output module. So I'm going to click on this lossless to open up my preferences. And I'm going to change the format from AVI to QuickTime. And I'm going to change my video output from RGB to alpha. And that's just going to export the alpha channel. depth millions of colors, and under color here, I'm going to do pre-multiplied, but the other option is straight. And a very simplified explanation of this is you can think of straight as giving you a hard edge, when pre-multiplied will give you more of a soft edge. And depending on what you're creating an alpha channel for depends on which one of these will work better for you. So basically you just want to use the one that gives you the best result for what you're trying to composite. But for this I'm going to use pre-multiplied. And under format options, here if you want you can change your video codec. I'm going to stick with animation even though the file size is a little bit larger. But if you wanted to, you can export to whatever codec you're using in your workflow that maintains alpha information. I'm just going to say OK there. Say OK again. Set my output settings. Then I just need to click on render and this will export the alpha matte. Now I think we all know what rendering looks like, so I'll skip that part and jump back into Premiere Pro. And when the rendering is done, you'll end up with a file that looks exactly like this, with your transparent image areas being visualized as black and your opaque image areas being visualized as white. And so that's how you create and export an external alpha matte using Adobe After Effects. So as I mentioned, there's a number of uses for an external alpha matte, but one specific example that I'm going to cover in an upcoming tutorial is how you can use an external alpha matte in DaVinci Resolve 9 to key out a background while still being able to do your color correction using your original source material so that you don't have any loss of quality. I hope that this tutorial has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching.